What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Scythe, and today we've got some news that we gotta talk about. Don't let the background fool you. We're not actually playing Trove or anything like that. I just thought that it would be interesting and cool to have stuff moving around in the background, you know, so people can run around and do stuff. Anyway, I actually wrote this out on my Google Plus already. I will admit that I don't really use Google Plus because we don't have much of a community on there. That's why I'm kind of relaying this exact same information. I'm noticing issues with my mic here. I'm relaying the exact same information just in a video now that I already had posted. So anyways, New Year's plans. This is what's actually going on right now. So I'm just gonna kind of read what I already laid out for myself and kind of elaborate on some of the facts. Either way, with the New Year's just around the corner, you know, things have been pretty crazy, and I've got a huge stockpile of footage from multiple games, like Roblox and Terraria, for example, are not a problem when it comes to recording tons of episodes in a row, and Trove is okay for me to record lots in a row, but at the same time, like, as the New Year's comes and as patches come around, I try to keep Trove as relevant as possible when it comes to the patches and stuff like that. And then it's like, as soon as the patch hits, I record like 5 episodes in a row and stuff so that I have time to record other games. This is just how I work. There's no way I could do it otherwise, because I'm on like such a messed up sleeping schedule. That is to say, the best kind. I can sleep when I want. Anyways, the Terraria, I do want to point out that in the coming weeks, I think it might be next week, Terraria is actually going to shoot up to 4 episodes a week instead of 3 is what we had going. I'm not sure if that happened just recently, but either way, I'm gonna start putting out 4 Terraria videos a week so that the series, which I already have fully recorded, is going to finish on episode 53 sometime at the beginning of February. Games like Smite, on the other hand, which hasn't even shown up on the channel yet, I've actually recorded 6 episodes already, but personally, I don't really expect that series to be very popular with all you dudes, because, you know, it's not really the type of game that would fly with a kid-friendly content creator like myself. You know, it's a bit more of it's a MOBA game, like League of Legends and stuff. I mean, I might be pleasantly surprised, but either way, because of that, because it's what I like to call an experimental series, and we'll talk more about that later, you're gonna see a flood of content this week, where I'm going to have all 6 of those episodes hopefully out by the weekend. So the whole series can be out of the way so that I can have a bit more time for my recording schedule and just uploads and stuff like that. Now, because otherwise, if I did it once a week, it would be brutal, man. That would be like over a month. The biggest challenge that I have with commentating is that I love it. Now, I know that that's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek little twitchy, you know, but the point being that I go a bit recording crazy sometimes. Like Turok, for example, that was like a 6-hour session, and I recorded it all in the first night. Which, by the way, you can... here's another thing, too, which I should have pointed out in the series rather than just annotations. You can actually see the entire Turok series right now if you just go over to the playlist, because I have all the episodes unlisted rather than... Like, I was kind of experimenting with it. So, 30 people seem to have gone through the entire series, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, the goal that I have been wanting for a very long time is always less is more. I found that out the hard way with my content when I kind of slowed things back down with my videos and stuff like that. Suddenly the views just spiked, man. They skyrocketed, especially because I started focusing, like, less videos is also more when focusing on the content that all of you fine, beautiful people of the internet actually want to see, rather than games that I find myself really enjoying and people aren't really that into it, like Smite. I expect that to be one of those games where, you know, it'll maybe make like 100 views or something like that. We'll see. Anyways, because of that, I want to have these games finished sooner rather than later. That's why I'm gonna push Smite, and that's why I'm also pushing Terraria rather than dragging it out, because I'm trying to make some room for like the other games that everybody does want, like Trove, Roblox, Terraria, which Terraria is getting, and Sky Saga and Team Fortress, which we'll talk about that in a minute. Which the other thing too is I want to actually have a bit of extra room for experimental series. Now, experimental series are quite simply put exactly how they sound. Like Smite is an experimental series where it's something that I just enjoy myself, throw it up on the channel, we'll see where it goes, but I'm not expecting anything, right? So we actually have, I have a Don't Starve Together series coming up very soon too, and that's one of those experimental series. So anyway, when I approach games, lots of people don't know this, I approach it completely different than I used to. Because as a content creator, you kind of just, you get into the feel of approaching games differently, especially when you're like me. And I mean, I'm like, I find it very, very hard for me to play. I don't know why I said that like all very, very. But I find it really difficult to play games for a long period of time without recording them. So any games that I usually play on the side, like Smite, for example, I'm just going to use that as the prime example today. That's one of those games where I was just playing it on the side and recording it at the same time, but now I've kind of grown tired of it because, I mean, unless it gets super duper popular or something, it's just not really going to go further than 6 episodes because I myself am kind of tired with it, and it's not really like a main series I want to be pushing, because that would be another Infinium game, which we'll talk about that in a minute, because games like TF2, for example, that's another Infinium game, that's what I like to call them, meaning that it's going to take a video slot permanently rather than temporary. So behind the scenes, this is kind of how I work with YouTube. I view videos as time slots. So it's like Trove comes out every day, so that's 7 days. That's 7 slots filled within a week. Okay, so that's 1 video for every day of the week already filled up. Scythe and Roblox come out twice a week, so that's 4 more slots just on the side, so because they're Infinium games as well. TF2 suddenly gets thrown onto the channel, and I'll probably end up, I'll have at least 1, probably end up having 2, maybe more episodes a week, depending on what everybody actually wants from it. But the point being that suddenly we have another 6 to 7 days taken out throughout the week. So that is 2 videos for every day. Trove being the only one that's going on every day, and every other one kind of sporadically changing between the two. Now, see, here's where it gets tricky, because factor that in with, on top of that, that's just the Infinium games. Those are the ones that can last forever. So then we have the limited time games, which is Yoshi's Woolly World, Super Mario Bros. X, Terraria, Turok, and Smite coming out, and then eventually Don't Starve. So how many more slots is that going to fill up? Now we are suddenly up to about, well, I think we're at going to be at 4 or sometimes 5 videos a day, which, you know, is not really ideal. That's not really what I'm going for. So kind of what I'm using this video as most of all is just to kind of give everybody a heads up and let you all know that everything is going according to plan, because I want to have all these series just push the content out. Like, just, there's going to be so much content going out on the channel so that I can clear it all up to focus on, you know, to have the content a bit more focused in the next year. So that's kind of where I'm going with the direction here. Just trying to check my notes here, see what else I needed to say. Yeah, so the end game goal, which this could also take a couple years to, it depends. Like, I personally don't find a problem with putting up this much content. I just don't like flooding everybody's sub feed with, you know, tons of daily content. Like, it's not necessarily a good thing as far as views and stuff are concerned. But it's okay because it makes my total views on the channel, like, we're already unprecedented for the amount of subs that we have. And it also makes the sub counter grow up faster too, because more and more fans come from other games to watch the other games, and then hopefully they end up coming around just to watch me rather than the game itself, right? So it's kind of an end game goal. That's why I think a lot of the end game, like, big time YouTubers always, like, you'll always notice how it's like as soon as they end up getting big time, they end up putting out like 1 video a day. That's because it works. It just works better for them. Because I'm also trying to approach, like, I've had a lot of extra time to watch some other YouTubers, and because of that, I kind of like have started to take it upon myself to level up from that. you know, because I always want to progress. I always want to get better at doing what I do because, you know, why not? And my point being that I was actually watching like some videos, and I noticed that I only had time for a couple videos before I got busy for the rest of the day. So that's kind of what I'm not trying to do with my content, is I don't want to make too much content that nobody can actually watch them and enjoy them. Like that's, you know, that's kind of what happens with the less popular series, I'm pretty sure, is just not only are people not really that interested in the game itself, but they don't really have the time, you know? But otherwise, like games like Yoshi's Woolly World and stuff like that, you know, I always view those as retro views, because that's the beauty of YouTube over like live streaming and stuff like that, is people can actually watch your content years later. So that, you know, that can be a good thing. Anyway, I just wanted to clue everybody in on that. I hope I didn't ramble on too long about stuff that I didn't really need to ramble about. I just wanted to say that, and also just to get the point across that Team Fortress 2 is coming. I just need to make some room for it. So you're gonna see a flood of content coming out on the channel within the next couple weeks. And then eventually when those series die down, then hopefully we're gonna have a bit more space, and I'm gonna start focusing more of my attention on the games that everybody else wants. Like, just as a side note, for example, Doom 4 is coming out very soon. I'm a huge Doom fan. I'm probably not even going to touch that series. I'll play the game through myself just because I very much am a fan of it and I love those games. But the amount of content in that game that's mature is a bit too much, and that's kind of what I mean, where it's a bit of a transition for me, and I'm just having like a personal level up here where I'm putting you guys first, you know, so I'm gonna start doing less videos so that everybody can watch them more, and I'm not gonna do games like Doom and hardcore games like that anymore, because that's not really what people seem to want on the channel, right? So everybody just wants like Trove and Roblox and goofy little silly games, which I have a lot of fun with those as well. It's not that I don't enjoy them, don't think that. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the info. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas, holiday stuff, and I hope that you all have a Happy New Year. Sayonara and stay epic, everybody.